You're watching live coverage of Planet Comicon, only on Sci-Fi for Me TV.
What comes to mind when you think of Kansas City? Jazz? Barbecue? Baseball? Sure, but Kansas City has a motion picture history rich with Hollywood ties. You've probably heard of 18th and Vine, but what about 31st and Forest, where the Walt Disney pioneered animation? It was here that Disney founded his first animation company, Laugh-O-Gram Studios. Disney would later say he was working late one night at his desk when he first found a mouse that would become the office pet and the inspiration for his most iconic character. Nearby, you'll find Kansas City's historic Film Row. For 40 years, every major Hollywood studio distributed films from this 4-block area, making KC one of the largest distribution hubs in the country. These buildings still stand as a symbol of our movie heritage. KC wasn't just supplying the movies. We also supplied some of Hollywood's biggest names like Jean Harlow, Ginger Rogers, Joan Crawford, and the legendary director Robert Altman. Not to mention stars of today like Diane Weiss, Chris Cooper, Jason Sudeikis, Eric Stonestreet, Don Cheadle, and Paul Rudd. Today, the city's film time life, making KC an up-and-coming destination for independent and studio productions. And now, you can experience it all with KC Film's tourism program. Take in the sights and sounds of Kansas City's cinematic history. Get started at visitkc.com/film tourism.
Hi there, this is Dustin for SciFiForMe.com as our coverage of Planet Comicon 2017 continues. And I am here with the fantastic and talented Colleen May.
Thank you.
And she's here to talk to us about makeup, effects makeup, and some other cool stuff. This is your creation right here next to us. Is this
That is
true?
correct. We've been working on this for a couple of weeks now, and we had a ball this morning putting it together.
Yeah. Well, it looks amazing. You had some pictures up on Facebook showing the process, and I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
Before we get started, I just need to do a really quick mention of one of our sponsors, KC Film. Kansas City is America's creative crossroads, and Kansas City welcomes film, television, and commercial production here. Kansas City is cost-effective for production. We are free of some of the cumbersome and costly permits that have and we place a strong professional crew base in all categories of production. Kansas City has a diverse location from prairies, forests, to urban alleys and skyscrapers, and the Kansas City Metro offers a wide array of scenes within close proximity, making production move quickly and easily. Right now, we have a freestanding airport terminal available for filming.
I know.
Isn't that fantastic?
It is.
Do you know how rare that is in the world?
Yes, and it's very cool up there, too.
Kansas City offers local filming incentives up to 7.5 rebate and featured in Variety magazine. The program is a cash rebate on qualified expenditures for productions eligible and accepted into the KCMO Film Development Program. KC Film is here to assist with your production, making it easy and efficient. Find us online at kcfilm.com. filminkc.com. I told you I was going to mess it up. Jason gave me the card, and I messed it up. Anyway, so it's been a long day.
I bet.
An exciting, adventurous day.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us a little about what went into this makeup we are seeing?
Absolutely. We purchased the wig, and so I spent some time styling the wig and getting it all ready. And then we used a vinyl bald cap that happened to fit pretty well. We didn't want to get into the heavy prosthetics.
Right.
We didn't have time for that.
And you can't really, I don't know if you can see on one of our cameras for this shoot, but you didn't use the bald cap on her you used it on her face.
I used it on her whole head and face.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yep, it came all the way down almost to her chin, and so we just kind of customized it from there. Yep.
Well, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And Jayla's going to be wandering around the convention, so if you are watching from the convention, just take a look and you can walk up. Don't poke her, because that is extremely rude. And she will hit you with that stick.
She will poke you back.
And please be respectful of the cosplayers at the convention, because they're human beings. And even if you think their costume is nice, that doesn't give you the right to go and rough them up and rile them. So, Colleen, you're gonna do. Thank you so much for showing us what's.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're gonna do a really quick makeup for us right now, are you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I thought I might show you how to beat up your local teenager.
Awesome.
How about that? This is Nevaeh.
Hi, Nevaeh.
Nevaeh is a friend of mine, and I'm going to beat her up for your pleasure now.
You know, you're a local crew person for Kansas City.
I am indeed.
And you've worked on several different productions and stuff. While we're applying some makeup, we can talk a little bit about that. I
would love that.
Would you like to? I'll take this microphone,
please.
And I will hold mine for you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use what we call rigid collodion. Rigid collodion is an old secret for makeup artists, and it basically does great scars. It does great cuts and abrasions and all kinds of fun stuff, but it stinks.
Yeah, it's got a very alkaline smell, doesn't it?
Yes, it almost smells like nail polish, but a little more pungent. All right, you ready? You can get this also at A to Z, which is where I got a lot of my supplies. I love those guys over there. I get a lot of my rigid collodion. That's where I got my bruise wheel. That's where I get a lot of my blood works, spirit gum, those types of things.
That's A to Z Theatrical, which is local here to town. They have all sorts of costumes and makeup needs, including set and different prop piece fabrication.
Well, they even have lighting over there.
Right.
So what we do here is we're going to apply it in a very fine line. Don't over apply it. It's better to apply it in coats rather than a heavy coat once. You apply 3 thin coats.
So what are some of the productions you've used this technique on?
I have used this on, let's see, we did American Maniacs, which is a film that you and I worked together on, a feature film. I used it on Nail Biter, which was another local production feature film. I have used it in theater. I use it at the haunted houses. I also I'm in charge of all the makeup and wardrobe down in the West Bottoms for all 3 of the big haunted houses.
Kansas City has some of the best haunted houses in the country that run through October. Some of them even start in September, if I'm
We do.
not
We
correct.
open. We'll open our doors in September. We'll run through the first weekend of November. There's the Chambers of Edgar Allan Poe, which is no longer open. Then we have Macabre Cinema, The Beast, and The Edge of Hell.
Yes,
now,
so
The Edge of Hell is the oldest commercial haunted house in the world. Did you
really?
know that? They're the guys who started it all.
You know, Clint's Comics is the first actual dedicated comic shop, and it's here in Kansas City.
See, and did you know that Mickey Mouse was born here in
I know.
Kansas City?
You know what? Kansas City is great for film production, not only because we have such amazing crew people like Colleen, who can do makeup like on the fly. Like she mentioned, we did a film together called American Maniacs, and I was the costume designer and costume wardrobe coordinator, and she was just supposed to do some minor effects makeup. And because of circumstances beyond our control, she ended up having to fabricate on set huge pieces for our production, which ended up being amazing, looking amazing on film.
Thank you.
And it's just one of the many, many talented people that we have in Kansas City.
We have top-notch crew and cast here in Kansas City, both for film and theater.
Right. You do a lot of work over at the Rep, too, don't you?
I do a lot of work at the Lyric Opera. I do a lot of work for the Kansas City Ballet. I do a lot of Broadway across America. And I do mostly for those folks, I do airbrush makeup because it's very fast. And I do wig work.
Oh, well, there you go. So what are you doing now?
Right now, I am finishing these guys out.
Now, what does this rigid collodion do? What is it doing to the skin at this moment?
So as it dries, it will suck down, and it will make it look like it's indented. So you can get a nice scar out of it. You can get a nice cut out of it.
Oh.
You can get some great abrasions as well.
And so it looks like maybe Nevaeh has been in some sort of fight with like a bobcat, or maybe somebody like tried to open a bottle on her face or something.
She was messing with Jayla earlier.
Uh-oh. Don't mess with Jayla. She's got that stick. Remember, I told you about the stick.
Hey, that stick hurts. All right, now that I've got the rigid collodion on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry for a second while I load my brush with some bruise wheel red.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to make this look like it's just a little bit swollen and fresh.
Okay. So it was a recent fight.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, Colleen mentioned earlier the films Nailbiter and American Maniacs, both of which are available on many on-demand services. So you can see her work in action, and you can see some of the amazing work that casts and crews in Kansas City have done. Nailbiter was directed by Patrick Ray, who is a local director, and American Maniacs was directed by Christopher Downs, who was local at the time, is no longer.
He's no longer local. He's in New Orleans.
Yeah.
now. Yes, and then don't forget the stylist.
Oh.
The stylist.
Tell me about that. I don't think I've heard about this one.
Oh, The Stylist is a short film. It was produced by Jill Six-Givergezian. And we made it. It was such a great experience, and there's some key effects in there that will make your skin crawl. Very, very cool. Taking awards all over the world.
Jill Six is another local filmmaker that if you are interested in horror, more than sci-fi, unfortunately, but if you're interested in horror, you should really check out Jill Six, because she's made some amazing short films that are really, really cool.
Yes, and I'm very proud to say that a lot of her films are female produced. A lot of her cast and crew are female. She really tries to focus on the girls in film. And they are fantastic.
So what's happening now?
So what I'm doing now is I'm actually blending the bruise wheel around these cuts. I'm leaving just a little space. And if you look, it looks pretty fresh and swollen.
Oh, yeah. There's a great, I don't know if you can see it at home, there is a great on her cheek. The rigid collodion has kind of coagulated into what almost looks like a little burn. It's a series of scratches that she's surrounded with the makeup to make it look very puckery. She's actually adding right now to that area some more redness to really bring it out. I'm sorry I know that's kind of dead air there to just sit here and stare while Colleen makes something cool, but...
Shall we give her a black eye?
Oh, sure. Sounds fun.
Right,
now, I have 3 kids, and one day Colleen came over and did a bunch of makeup on them, made them look like they had been beaten up, And that was a really fun afternoon. We need to do that again.
Fun with them. Your kids are great.
Yeah, they're okay. They're on sleepovers this weekend, so
Nice.
so I get to hang out here.
Dad gets a break. So with a black eye, we always start with red, and we just kind of try and follow the creases, especially close. You have to keep in mind that blood settles at the bottom. So close your eyes, babe.
Now, to become a makeup artist of your caliber, how much research do you have to do into the way physical anatomy works?
That is the epitome of my job. You wouldn't believe some of the research I've had to do. There was a film that I worked on several years ago. It was called, what was that film? I had to do a burned child body.
Oh.
And I cried the whole time I researched it, and I cried the whole time I made it. So yes, the research on this is actually the very most brutal part of my job. This is the fun part. There we go. Now, we're going to take and do a little bit of a stipple sponge. This is a stipple sponge.
Right.
These come in very handy for all kinds of fun stuff.
It looks like a giant square of Brillo pad.
It does, but it's softer than that.
Right.
And you can get these at A to Z
Theatrical, who is, I feel I'm so glad that we got to do the KC film thing to even though I botched it, it was fun to do that because I feel like now it's me and Colleen, it's our infomercial on Kansas City Film today. How awesome it is and how special.
Well, we're pretty biased because we love a lot of people in local film, but they are top-notch, very talented people.
And I think there's something to be said for making film in areas that aren't necessarily Los Angeles and California, there's a lot of camaraderie around here. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows their talents. Their right.
You just know
well,
everybody.
Not only that, but people. It's important, I think, for people to understand that you can make a movie anywhere. You don't have to wait. The people here in Kansas City work very, very hard at their craft, just like anyone in New York would or in California would. And you know what? If you don't live in those areas or if you don't live here, you can go and you can make your own film just as easily. You can learn the techniques. Colleen is giving you a tutorial right now online on how to do some makeup. You can take what you're learning from her right now. You can expand on it. You can give it your own spin. And you can go and make your own movie.
That's
which
exactly
we encourage at Sci-Fi For Me. We encourage you to do that.
Yes, please, and thank you.
Yeah. So what's going on? Tell me what's happening.
Well, I think what we're going to do next is we're going to add a little scab blood to this, which I also got at
A to Z Theatrical. This is really fun. I'm glad we're doing this. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm a little weird. I don't usually use a brush to do this. I use the butt end of the brush.
Oh, I can see why you wouldn't because using that blunt end, you can get a more organic looking scab because you're not painting it on. It looks more like it's actually organically grown there.
That is correct. And this stuff is great too because the scab blood, it will dry and still look wet hours later. One of my favorites for film.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nevaeh, for doing that.
I think is my favorite little area right there that you've done.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, Nevaeh, you just need to leave that man. There's, you don't need to put up with that. So what else, is there anything else you would like to do to Nevaeh before we're done?
I don't know. What do you think? Should we bloody your nose too? All right, so this is easy stuff, man. We're going to start with the corner of her mouth, and we're going to bloody her up just a little bit. So just start right in the corner and draw it down.
Oh, gross.
And then as far as her nose goes, start right at the edge And pull it down.
Wow. Well, Nevaeh, you look great. You're ready to go to the prom. So we are just about done here with our little demonstration. You have a panel here at the con, don't you?
I do. At 6 o'clock tonight. You can come and see me.
Come and watch Colleen talk about effects makeup.
Ask me questions.
Yes, and that is going to be super fun.
Thank you,
Thank you
Justin.
so much, Colleen. It's so nice to see you.
Back at you.
And it was really great to watch you do your magic once more. So I think that we're going to let... What's happening? Tim Harvey is standing over on the other side of the camera, mouthing at me like I'm supposed to understand. Oh,
I do,
does
actually.
Colleen? Would you like to?
Thank you. My website is ColleenMay.com, ColleenMay.com. Please come check it out. I'm also on Facebook, Colleen May Guerrilla Effects, and that's Guerrilla.
Yep.
Thanks,
and
guys.
Aside from checking out Colleen's stuff, also remember filmandkc.com. Also, you are already at sci-fi4me.com, so I'm not going to tell you to go there again. But it's the 4. Remember, it's the number 4, not the FOR. Oh, it will? That'll get you there, too, Jason says. I don't know how much I trust Jason. Also, remember, KC Film Tourism is one of our sponsors today. And thank you so much, Colleen.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And we'll see you back from the floor of Planet Comicon 2017. We're going to take a little break and come back at 6.
Woohoo!
Probably not me. Somebody will.
With more premium cable-like channels than any other station in the United States, we are Weather Nation. We are locally operated. We are free over the air. We are TV 25, where there's always 12 simultaneous networks broadcasting 24 hours a day to 2.2 million viewers in Kansas City, Lawrence, and Topeka. We are TV 25, where there's always something on.
What comes to mind when you think of Kansas City? Jazz? Barbecue? Baseball? Sure, but Kansas City has a motion picture history rich with Hollywood ties. You've probably heard of 18th and Vine, but what about 31st and Forest, where the Walt Disney pioneered animation? It was here that Disney founded his first animation company, Laugh-O-Gram Studios. Disney would later say he was working late one night at his desk when he first found a mouse that would become the office pet and the inspiration for his most iconic character. Nearby, you'll find Kansas City's historic Film Row. For 40 years, every major Hollywood studio distributed films from this 4-block area, making KC one of the largest distribution hubs in the country. These buildings still stand as a symbol of our movie heritage. KC wasn't just supplying the movies. We also supplied some of Hollywood's biggest names like Jean Harlow, Ginger Rogers, Joan Crawford, and the legendary director Robert Altman. Not to mention stars of today like Diane Weiss, Chris Cooper, Jason Sudeikis, Eric Stonestreet, Don Cheadle, and Paul Rudd. Today, the city's film ties continue. More filmmakers than ever are choosing Kansas City to bring their visions to life, making KC an up-and-coming destination for independent and studio productions. And now, you can experience it all with KC Film's tourism program. Take in the sights and sounds of Kansas City's cinematic history. Get started at visitkc.com/film tourism.